a party for him and killed him. Found him at a party and killed him. I don't care which one it was. It was a party. Killed him. Amnon's dead. The story is that Absalom was really mad at David, so he went through and just started killing everybody, killing the party, so members of the family, right? And he said, I'm coming after David. He was mad at David, so much so that he went and got Ahithophel, right? Ahithophel, that was David's his smartest advisor, right? And went and got Ahithophel, right? And then he went and got, I think it was, he teamed up with Abner at the time, who was really still half-timing with Ishbosheth, right? Because that was Saul's part of it, right? This is the kingdom of David that's being split. David sinned, so God was split in this kingdom. The Philistines were sitting back just watching, and Saul's part of the kingdom was sitting back just watching. The part of our that Saul didn't want to give up, he was just watching. So you got Abner and Ishbosheth sitting back and watching the whole thing, right? And you got the Philistines and everybody watching. It was David's kingdom against David's kingdom. They did not want any part of it. So when it actually went down, Absalom had chased David from his palace, right? And David had gone up, and a man was actually throwing rocks at him and spitting at him and cursing at him, right? It got crazy, right? So he's walking away from his own palace with some of the people that were still with him, walking up and away from it, to come to find out that Absalom had that beautiful hair, that he ran up in the forest and got wrapped up in a tree in it and died as a result of it. He got wrapped up in a tree, and Joab, his cousin, went in and killed him. I gotta be honest about it. But this whole story, Absalom's not dead. Tamar has she can't bring back her womanliness. She can't get back what she has lost. And the man that could give her anything is now dead, because Absalom thought that justice was the best thing for him. So now she is ruined. She is done. So now I thought it was the patient Tamar, and the invitation would be God, right? And then the criticism would be Tamar's not going to give who she is back. But I don't think Tamar's the patient. I think Maacah is. Because Tamar did not lose anything but what was there and what she would never know. She didn't lose anything. She thinks she lost much, but she did not lose much. You may have lost the opportunity to say that you are a virgin, right? But you are not without virtue. You are not without virginal aspects, because through the whole thing, she was obeying Amnon. She was obeying her brother. She didn't do anything that would cause you to think she was sinful. I think she was a little not so smart, but I think she was a little enabled, right? But it's not that she wasn't. It's not that she was sinful. However, and you have Absalom, right? Fighting his father, put his father out of the kingdom, right? He wanted Joab to be his commander, and so what he did to even get Joab, who was David's right-hand man, right? He wanted Joab to be his commander. So what he did after he got Ahithophel, he went and burned Joab's grain field to the ground, because Joab would respond to him. And the father David had stood up and publicly shamed Absalom in front of everybody in the kingdom. And so Absalom didn't want to be publicly shamed. So he went back and said, okay, I'm going to get together with the commander of the army, and I'm going to come against my father. Except the commander wouldn't come. He wouldn't even answer him. I think it was like 2 weeks before he talked to him. And so he burned his grain field to the ground. Absalom was just this person that would go on pure adrenaline. He would go on pure without thinking. He was going pure nuttiness. Because who told you that Amnon's judgment should be that he died? The one thing that he said, the one reason why he said he went after David was because of the fact that David never did anything about his sister. But we don't read about Absalom going to David and bringing his sister before him and say, hey, look what happened. Look what Amnon did to Tamar. But what he did do was he stole Ahithophel, and he stole Joab, who was actually his cousin, David's nephew, and recruited them to help them come against David. God has a way of working with you, because it's a beautiful story how it all plays out, because we just skip to the part where Absalom ends up in a tree, his hair wrapped around a tree, and it ends up killing him. The very thing that he loved the most about himself kills him, right? That's why I say I don't pay much attention to, I like my hair. I don't love it. I just don't love it when people tell me that to cut it. Don't tell me what to do. If I want to know, I'll ask my pastor, and when I'm ready to ask my pastor, I will. And if he says, Jamie, you need to cut your hair, it's too big for the church, like people are complaining, I will cut my hair. They said that at my last church. Jamie, your hair's too big for the church. I sat off to the side. I didn't block anybody. So, and it's bigger now than it was then, right? So if Pastor David says, Jamie, right, I need you to cut your hair for more than one reason, if he says, Jamie, I need you to cut your hair for more than one reason, I will say yes. Yes, sir. And I will cut my hair. I will cry while I was getting cut, but I'll cut it. But you're not Pastor David. So I have to be careful, even when I'm dealing with you, not to allow you to cause me to make something that is on me, that God gave me just as a part of my body, right? And for you to cause me to make it an idol. God just gave this to me. It's not going to be an idol for me. I will not get to the point where I'm focusing on it. If I talk to Pastor David about anything, it's going to be about something important, and it will not be about my hair. I don't comb it. Does that make you angry? Miss Amy was sitting in her room with me, and she kind of went through my drawers a little bit, and so she was like, do you use these? And I was like, no. I have them. I'm supposed to have a comb. I have them, but I don't use it. I've gone years without combing my hair. I don't have to. There's something called finger detangling, and as long as I condition it heavily, and I wash it the way I should, when I get out of the shower, all I do is finger detangle it, and it comes out perfectly fine. For me, maybe not for you. Either way, do you realize that the person that's standing next to you is the one party that matters most in you becoming a patient, considering your body parts idols? Here's what I mean. Absalom, we don't hear about Absalom saying anything about his hair. What we do hear about people is about people saying how beautiful Absalom's hair was. Even though a picture by God, he's drawn with this beautiful, flowing, luscious black hair. David hair was nappy. David hair looked like mine. That's why I know I'm a woman of war. David hair was nappy. It looked like mine. Nappy smappy. Nappy pappy smappy. Nappy spappy. It was nappy. But Absalom had beautiful hair. But you hear about people saying that Absalom's hair was beautiful. You don't hear about Absalom saying, I just got to comb my luscious hair. Be thou Sassoon. I told somebody, I said, I think it was Miss Andrea. I felt like they wake up in the morning, they look at the mirror and say, be thou Sassoon. Might have been Jess. Because Jess has baloney curls, like Shirley Temple, big fat baloney curls. I'm like, come on. I can't even buy that. I need you to cut your hair off immediately and give it to me, so I can wear it as a wig. Because I can't do that. My hair won't do that. It might, but I don't know how. I look like this all the time. Like that picture Sophia drew of me outside my room. It's so funny because I didn't even think this morning. Again, I got up and I was listening to my music and I did my routine and I put my hair exactly like that. I look exactly like that thing every morning. But Absalom don't look like that. He didn't, right? I mean, he had beautiful, flowing, luscious hair to the point where people started commenting on it. You will make, if you are not careful, you will make anything that people make comments about, you will make it an idol. You will take it and make it your idol instead of looking at what the Creator has given you to do. You will stop looking forward and looking at what He is asking you to give Him back to as far as ministry is concerned. You will fix your eyes on yourself instead of fixing your eyes on Jesus, who is the author and finisher of your faith. He created you. He made you, actually. He made anything about you that you would want to alter or, take away. But Absalom didn't know that. So Absalom's he started to walk in pride because of his hair, right? And then this whole thing happens. And then he starts acting impulsively. Whatever I want to do, I'm going to kill it. Whatever I want to do, I'm very careful even dealing with bipolar because I can be very impulsive. I just sent Kirk an email, right? And I lit him up. I light him up, light him up, light him up. He on fire. I like Kirk up. But he understands, right? Especially when I'm sick. He understands how frustrating it is to be sick and in pain, right? So when I find something, I listen. I told y'all this was going on, and y'all don't listen. I don't like to not be listened to. So I say whatever I got to say to get you to listen to me. I said, I know you're not listening to me, but check this out. I found this on Google, and check it enforces what I've been telling you. And I sent him a copy of the Google page that tells clearly. I didn't look it up before I told him what I said. I just clearly. The point is not whether I'm right or not. The point is the attitude I sent the email in because of the fact that I was being impulsive because I'm sick. I don't feel well. And I'm tired of my kidneys hurting. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of not sleeping. Because I can't lay on either side. I'm a side sleeper. And when I get frustrated, I lay on my back. But I'm not sleeping if I sleep on my back. I just never sleep well. I'm a side sleeper or I sleep on my back, right? But then if all else fails, I go on my front. But I can't really go on my front and sleep. Why? Because I feel like I'm drowning when I put my face in the pillow. So I impulsively send him an email. Although Holy Spirit is telling me, Jamie, don't do this. Jamie, don't do this. Jamie, don't do this. You don't want to send this email. I sent it anyway because I light him up. Holy Spirit, he didn't listen to me. He's on fire. Light him up. Light him up. I've been lighting him up. Because the point isn't whether I'm right or not. I could be right. I'm learning even as a female. All the tomorrows in the world, you ready? The point is not whether you're right or not. The point is the attitude in which you come. I'm learning even as a female. There's certain things that when I come to Harmony and I talk to her, I have to make myself submissive. I'm learning even over text to do that. Christina, this whole week, I make myself submissive. Ashley, I make myself submissive. Even though Ashley's submissive to everybody. It's just blah, blah, blah. Can't stand her and that in her. She automatically magically gets it. Like, I don't get it. I get overriding everybody and steamrolling everybody, but she's just automatically so blessed. But I'm teaching myself to automatically make myself submissive to these people, and they're all female. They're all female. Ready, Tamaris? The men I haven't even touched because I don't know where God has taken me with that. But any male that I come in contact with, I need to make myself submissive to them. When Pastor Tim came and brought my medicine, even though I told him he didn't have to because I just want to get it from church. But because it was an injection, so he felt like he had to bring it. But he's so kind. He's just so kind. But I've made myself submissive even though I was talking to him. You bring yourself to a level, but you don't bring yourself beneath and underneath who God is calling you to be. That's what That's what God is going with Jamie. All the tomorrows of the world. Raise your hand if you're a tomorrow. You fed them out your hands. And I'm not saying you're in a rape situation, but you fed them out your hands. I'm a tomorrow too. You fed them out of your hands. You fed him out of your hands. And so me learning to be submissive again and asking God to teach me how to be submissive again is hard because I've been raped, because I've been molested, because I've been in those situations. I have to ask God to renew what's been taken from me so that I can have an innocent mindset again. I can have virtue again. Because I allowed what was taken from me, to shame me, to cause me to shame me, right? You have on the one end, Micah, your son, right, has taken what people have called beautiful, and he's made an idol out of it. Then you have Tamar, who has taken what people has said was taken from her, and she's shamed herself. He made an idol out of himself. Your daughter is she's shaming herself. What is going on with Micah? Where is her story? Who's the real patient? Micah. Tamar didn't lose anything. She was raped, yes, like many other women in the world, but she did not lose anything. God is in control of the reproductive system. We see that with Rebecca. Let's go simple. With Rachel and Leah. Let's go simple. The Bible in the beginning, whether you realize it or not, says both Rachel and Leah were barren. Who opened up Leah's womb? God. Who opened up Sarah's womb? God. Who opened up Ruth's womb? God. You don't even come back that. Naomi was the one talking about something. I went out for and came back empty. And she about, I'm all this and I'm all that. You have made yourself an idol, Naomi, because here's the thing. Ruth was the one that was, she was the one that was barren. And all she did was want to worship God. And all she did was want to know God better. Naomi was the one that was complaining and changing her name, calling herself Cephas, when she was named Naomi, changing her name, right? She did that. Ruth did, even, Ruth, I don't know if Ruth knew she was barren or she didn't know she was barren. Either way, you did not hear that in Ruth's story. That did not come out of Ruth's mouth, right? We're charged to speak the things that be not in our lives as though they were, right? Selah. When we think about the David story, we think, who started all of this mess? Who began it? Or could we say it was Amnon's mom because Amnon's mom gave birth to Amnon? Or could we say that it was Maacah because Maacah gave birth to Tamar and Absalom? And she, even though Absalom was acting up, she gave birth to a child that was going to be crazy? Or do we say David with his sin? When we look back on it, what do we trace it back to? Tracing it back, we need to find ourselves back at David. We need to find ourselves back at David and understanding of that time, right? Where hand holding meant hand feeding meant if you fed me from your hand meant you were mine. You were mine, right? Because Abigail fed David from her hands, and no sex and no rape came from it. However, he felt entitled to Abigail. I said, who was watching Abigail? Who was watching? Matter of fact, who was watching Nabal to know that Nabal was going to die? Nobody had any inference or any knowledge to know that Nabal was going to die. You do not hear that Nathan went to go tell David, oh yeah, Nabal died. Since she fed you from her hand, you get to have her in the palace. The palace, what? The palace. Now, you don't hear about that. So I said David was stalking Abigail. Because as soon as Nabal dropped there, he went there to go get Abigail. He was stalking Abigail. I believe that he wanted Abigail, and that was his form of pursuing. He was stalking her, watching over her, but not actually taking her. But once Nabal died, he went to go get her because she was a collectible, right? And he had a ready-made room for her in the palace. He went to go get her, right? Because she fed me from her hand. He went to go get her because he knew what she was worth, right? He went to go get her. He knew what she could do in the palace, right? Put her behind a stove. I don't necessarily know that I want her in the forefront like Bathsheba. Like if she have any kids, right? She ain't got no kids, but if she have any kids, I don't necessarily know that I want them running the kingdom. However, put her in front of a stove, put her in front of a kitchen, just keep her barefoot and pregnant, and I'll be happy. Except you don't hear about her having any kids. She made house nice though. I said, how did he know? He was not stalking her. He was stalking Nabal. But there's that spirit lined up in it all over again. She fed him from her hands, right? And he ate it. So when he ate it, all of a sudden, she belonged to him, right? So she said, don't even worry about him. Don't worry about Nabal. May all your enemies become as Nabal. She said, she wished, right, before him that her husband would die. Her husband died the next day, right? Because God intervened, right? And when it happened, he went to go pick her up. He rounded her up. He did not kill for her, though. He stalked her. How is it that when you stalk me, once you get me, you do not want me anymore? How is it that stalking, right, or once you get me, the desire to have me, once you have the desire to have me, once you get me, you throw me away. You do not want me anymore. You are off to the next person. You are off to the next right thing. You do not see what God has put inside of me. You do not see what God wants to do with me. And so once you have me, once you feel like you have me, once you feel like you have an arm inside of me, you feel like you have a hand on me, you feel like a hand on me, you feel like a hand holding me, you feel like what you have a hand with me, I am feeding you from my hands, then I belong to you. You stalked me long enough to get me. You do not hear much about Abigail after this point. He went to go pick Abigail up for the palace and brought her there, and you do not hear much about Abigail. How bad do you want her? Some of us do that with God. We stalk God, right? God seems so far off. I want him to fix this thing for me. When God comes in and he inhabits your praise, we stalk him. We get him to fix it, right? We beg him. We beg him. We beg him. He comes in. We beg him. We beg him. We beg him to fix it. Once he fixes it, and then we don't know him. We choose not to know him because knowing you comes with too many things. Knowing you, that I may know you in the power of your resurrection and the fellowship of your suffering, being made conformable to your death. I don't want to know you like that. I just want to know you enough to get my bills paid. We stalk God. We rape him. And then we put him away. We put him away like we put away our statues and our extra books and our candles and we put away things. We put it away like Joseph put Mary away. We put him away. I'm done with playing with God. Put him away. Mom, come get this God. He won't leave my life. I'm done playing with him. He won't leave my life. I'm ready to pick up a wolf. I'm ready to pick up a cat. Meow. I'm ready to be a cat. I'm ready to be a wolf. I'm ready to pick up a dog. Woo, 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 woo. If Scooby-Doo could do it, why can't I do it? I can still go and solve mysteries as a dog. I'm ready to go pick up a dog. I want to be a dog. So put God away. Honey, no. So let us serve a God that you can't just put away. You can't put him down, right? We do it. We rape God when we don't want him. And then we can't get rid of him. We say, who is responsible for him being here? Like I said, what was Maacah's problem? Who started this? David. Who's the patient? Maacah, right? At first I thought it was Tamar, but then I said it was David. But now I'm saying, who's the patient? God. Could it be so that in every situation I go through that God could be the patient because he's the one patient with me? He's the patient. The invitation is extended by me to come into my life, to come into my heart and fix what I got going on right now. Stay in this room though. Don't go to any of my other rooms. Stay in this room. I need you to fix the art room, God, right? My invitation, right, is come in. My invitation is come in and fix what I got going on. But then the criticism becomes too heavy for me. It becomes too heavy for me, so I leave God behind and I run with those that criticize. So who's the patient? God. I sinned yesterday. Who's the patient? God. Because you hurt God. So am I the patient because I was hurt, so I sinned because I was hurt? No, I am not the patient because I was hurt. I was hurt. That does not make me the patient. Who's the patient? God. I hurt some people that I love more than anything. Who's the patient? God. Because that's his son and that's his daughter. They may be married, but that's his son and that's his daughter. You hurt them, you hurt him. Who's the patient? God.